Because it's Spider-Man. Anyway. So, huge talk recently around the gaming community has been Spider-Man PS4 and the fact that review copies are coming out, people are getting early copies, and a lot of people are saying it looks like it's been downgraded. Now, bearing in mind we get this with every AAA title ever, God of War, Detroit, both games that look absolutely fucking stunning. We always get the "it was fucking downgraded" controversy every time. But I tell you what, this one's a little bit more convincing. Now, I'm not saying it's downgraded. I'm not even saying it looks bad, because to be fair, you're right. You take the game at face value for what it is in 2018 upon release, the game looks fucking gorgeous. It looks outstanding. It looks great in most areas, to be honest. You know, most. I thought we'd go over some of these images that are coming out, some of these comparisons, and look at it, and then look at Insomniac's, response to that and what the community's saying, and sort of look at what's going on from a neutral stance, because I don't really know what to say. I can't, to be honest, I don't really want to pass judgment until I've played it, to be honest, because different images can show different things. Like, it's a bit confusing, but right. So this first image we've got here is a comparison between E3 2016 and then the 2018 trailer, and if we just flick between them, you can see some major differences. Now, so they look very similar, and if we take a look just at the 2018 one, it looks absolutely gorgeous. The game looks fantastic. That looks brilliant. But when compared to what we saw in 2016, of course, it looks different, and that's gonna happen. Like, people comparing 2016 E3 demos and 2016 trailers with the final product, I think that's a little bit dumb, just simply because you're never going to get the same, it's never going to look the same, there's always going to be differences there, and, it's things happen in game development, and so you can't really look at something that happened in 2016 at a press event and compare that to the final game. There's always going to be slight differences, so I think this one here is a little bit far-fetched, because both look good. I think it just looks different more than anything. So I'd say that's less of a downgrade, more of just a change, because it doesn't look worse, it looks different. So, except for the smoke in the background, that looks pretty good, but obviously that might not have been going off at the time, so it depends, Okay, next up is the big one that everyone's been talking about, and it's the one with the puddle. Now, it's funny, because of course, it's dumb to be like, oh, they've changed the puddle size, this is the worst. But let's be real, it's not just the puddle, is it? To be honest, it's not even the puddle. Like, I don't care about the puddle, to be honest. Can we just be honest with ourselves right now? And look at both of these images side by side. Of course, the one from 2016 doesn't look as good, does it? There's no shine on his suit. You can't see the texture of it as well. Look at the muscles in his arm that he's holding onto the wall with. It's almost non-existent, and it's very strange to look at. You know what I mean? Like, there is clearly a difference. You'd be blind to anyone saying there's not a difference and saying they look the same is an idiot. That's not to say that it looks terrible, but there's a clear fucking difference. Don't ignore it. But let's just talk about this. So, with this specific image, with the puddle, with the lighting, Insomniac have come out and they've said, look, there's no downgrade. We, for some reason, removed the puddle. I don't know why, because the puddle looked pretty good. But if you want to fight, but it's your game. Just I don't really care, but it did look pretty good, didn't it? It's like, if it wasn't for performance issues, then why not just move it back? Like, it's no big deal, like, if it's, but it was for performance issues, wasn't it, in your line? They've said lighting, the sun has moved, is the reason why these two images look different. Fair enough, okay, cool. If that's the reason, cool. I'll take you at face value, I believe you. Move it back. Why'd you do it? Because it clearly doesn't look as good. So if you're telling me the game looks the same, there's no graphical downgrade, graphically it's identical to that other image, it's just the sun moved. Moving the sun made the game look worse. So what? Move it back. What? Which is what leads me to believe that it's not just that. I don't know why they'd lie. It's so weird though, isn't it? It's such a weird situation. It's like, what? Because clearly the 2018 one doesn't look as good, does it? Clearly it doesn't. Clearly, like, but why? Is it just the sun? Why don't they just move the sun? It's strange, because they're claiming they chose to do this, not for performance reasons, but they just chose to move the sun. Which would mean they think this looks better than this. But it doesn't. So why did they do it? That's what doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of people will go, obviously they're lying. Like, obviously they're lying. Like, there's no... It's like when Ubisoft were asked, why in the co-op of Unity can we not play as a female character? And Ubisoft came out with,
well, female characters, you see, they're very hard to animate.
No, you're lying, because the next year, you had one! So what, Tomb Raider's been out for fucking year. No, that's not an excuse. So the reason is because in the co-op, everyone's playing as Arno. So what, so, it's not necessarily a downgrade. It's so difficult, because really all this video is, the only reason we're talking about this is as a talking point. I don't care, really. It's more of a, let's discuss this thing that people are talking about. Clearly, the 2016 one looks a lot better. All they had to say was, the one at the E3 demo was, it's not fully representative of the final game. Which is true. An E3 demo is never representative of the final game. I don't know why everyone's comparing them, but it's the fact that they're saying, no, it's the same. But it's not. Is it the same? It's not. Still looks really good, but it's not the same, is it? Clearly it's not. We also have another image of the puddles as well, just comparing the two. There's a lot of little things. It really, I can't understand why moving the sun would change texture quality or sort of the way shadows and they look at Spider-Man, right? In the first image. He looks like he's part of that environment. It looks dark, everything looks good. It looks real. But in the second image, it's like, why does everything look so fucking flat? If it's a downgrade, it makes sense. If they just move the sun, it's almost worse if that's the reason. Because it's like, okay, two things. Why does moving the sun in your game make it look detrimentally worse? And also, why did you move the sun? Move it back. I just don't understand that reasoning. People are eating it up, man. People are like, Insomniac have said this, so that must mean it's true. But use your eyes. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. You can see the difference. I just don't know, man. I don't know. Oh god. And the last one I wanted to take a little look at was these images here of the same shot of Spider-Man doing the backflip off of the building that they showed at E3. The first original trailer they showed looked bloody great. It's a great shot. So this is the original. Two images from the original when he's just about to take the leap, and then one when he's leaping. It looks bloody gorgeous. The lighting looks great. The textures look great. The atmosphere of the smoke. Look at all the traffic. Looks sick. And then look at the full game. Now, it doesn't look inherently bad, does it? But when compared, it does. That's the thing, right? None of these images comparing these look bad, do they? But when compared together, they do. That's the issue. Because if I just showed you the original images, you'd be like, that looks fucking awesome. What a great looking game. But when compared to what it was presented to us as, it's like, wow, what a difference. There's no way that's just the sun. Because they've removed the amount of pedestrians, the amount of cars. There's not that atmospheric smoke anymore. You know what I mean? There's something, it feels flat. It feels like it doesn't feel like one whole image. It feels like Spider-Man exists, buildings exist, road exists, birds exist, cars exist, and they've sort of slapped them together. Whereas the original that we saw, everything looks like one beautiful scene. But at the end of the day, I don't actually care, because it still looks good, doesn't it? So, I mean, yeah, I mean, who cares, to be honest? I don't know why I made this video. I think that, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I thought this was worth talking about since it's been a big thing, sort of in the gaming community for the past little while, and I thought it was worth just discussing, just talking about it, giving my thoughts, you know, having a bit of a laugh about it as well. But, I mean, downgrades, I hate the term downgrade, because a downgrade is Watch Dogs 1, right? Where they show it one way and they release it looking completely different, and it's like, what happened? One looks great, the other looks like a PS3 game. Like, what happened with Watch Dogs? But when you look at something like Uncharted, I guess they're very similar though, or like an Assassin's Creed maybe, or Spider-Man here, the final product doesn't look bad. It looks really good. It's just not what they showed us. And I think that it's a talking point, not based, because a lot of people are going, oh, why do you even care? Like, why is it made? It still looks good, who cares? It's like, it's not really about that, though. It's more about the principle of, why did they do this? I'm interested, I'm curious, I want to know why they decided to, if it is the lighting changing, why did they do that? Because they've said it's not a performance issue, so then why did they do it? Because it doesn't look as good, so why did they do it? Like, what's the reasoning? You know, why did they say it was the sun moving? If maybe it's not. Who knows? I'm just interested in seeing. I don't know. I just want to understand, because it's a very clear difference, isn't it? Like, it is a very clear difference. Anyone with a brain can see it's a clear difference. It's not a huge difference that makes the game look bad. The game looks very good, especially in 2018. I mean, most of it looks good, but most of it looks very, very good. And I don't know exactly what to think until the game is released. Because if you look, I don't know whether it's the fact that the lighting does really affect the game. Like, the base game, if you were to just have a global light, like showing, like, the world, and it was lit from above, that it would look bad. And the reason it looks so good in a lot of things they've shown is because they always show off the game at sunset, which immediately makes the game look tons better, because just the lighting on the buildings, it obscures your vision a little bit. There's lovely reflections. You can't quite see the definition of things as well in that type of lighting, and so maybe that's the reason they've been showing it off like that, because it doesn't look as good, and maybe it is just the lighting. But look, who fucking knows? I think it was just worth having a little bit of a mini discussion to look at this, talk about it, and see what's going on. Something's going on, but what? Because something's odd here. It's a very odd situation, and I'm looking forward to playing the game myself. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. I'm just interested to see exactly what happened with the visuals, because it's very odd. It is a very odd situation, but who knows? I mean, I don't. Obviously, I don't know. And I'm afraid that I'm going to get a bunch of, you know, Spider-Man fans that are going to be getting on this video and being like, fuck you, you're just a hater. It's like, well, I'm not. I've been excited for this game for years. I'm so happy it's coming out. I can't wait to play it. I'm really looking forward to playing it on Friday. It's going to be fucking brilliant. I'm just, you know, I'm just very interested to understand the decision behind changing the visuals, because it clearly is different. They're different, aren't they? Like, if you have eyes, you can see. They're not the same. Doesn't mean it looks bad, but it does look different, and I would love to understand why. But I suppose that's the point of you know, discussion. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, maybe subscribe. I'll do some more of these in the future about things that have happened in the industry, because it's a bit of fun to talk about certain shit that maybe we either don't talk about on the podcast, or maybe I don't talk about on my main channel because it's not a big thing. But I thought, man, you know, why not just have a little chat about this? Just talk about Spider-Man and whatnot. Anyways, I will be doing a review of this on my main channel, and I'll be streaming some side stuff maybe at some point, so that'll be a good time. I'm really looking forward to playing it. So, you know, there's that. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. What do you guys think? I don't know. Do you like this style of video? Do you like me just sitting here talking about stuff that's happened in the industry? Do you like me just whatever. I didn't even finish that fucking sentence. I swear to God, man. Right. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all bloody in a bit in the next time. I'll see you guys later. Okay. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I'll bloody see you all later on. All right. Goodbye.